Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K Facebook Live video. I just have to do my quick double check out here to make sure that hopefully this week I am facing the right direction and live in the space where I want to be live at. So hopefully all is well. It looks like everything is good to go. So yep, I can see the video and it's turned the right way. So bonus. All right. Hello to anybody joining and welcome. I think I'm trying out some new lighting options this week because there's a glare and I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of it. I haven't figured out how to get rid of it yet, but I'm working on it. So, hey Karen, thanks for hopping in. So today I'm going to show you real quickly how I made this card. It's made with the Beauty Abounds stamp set bundle, which includes the Beauty Abounds stamp set and the coordinating Butterfly Beauty framelits dies. So this is a huge set of dies that coordinate with the Beauty Abounds stamp set. So it's sold together in a bundle. Sorry, having trouble talking today. And then we've got the Butterfly Gala stamp set, and I just used the sentiment from that stamp set for this card. So let me set these up and get them out of the way here. And let's get working on our card. And I do apologize. Oh, hello, Catherine. Hey, I'm glad you were able to hop in. And I see Sue's joining us too. And I apologize if there's any racket in the background. My daughter seems to have shared yet another cold with me. I haven't come down with the worst of it yet, but man, she has come home with some whoppers, and I think that she has given me another one. So yay, that's always lovely. So hopefully my nose won't be running too much during this. So, all right, let's get going on the card. So I went ahead and pre-cut a couple of pieces here again, so I didn't have to drag the big shot out and have you guys watch the bumping and thumping with all that. So the pieces that I cut out is I used Highland Heather cardstock to cut this piece, and that was cut with the more detailed butterfly, oops, I guess they're upside down, more detailed butterfly dies on here. And then I cut lemon lime twist cardstock with the die that's a little more solid on the butterfly pieces. And they're designed to layer over the top of each other. But you'll notice on mine that I actually sort of hacked the top off because that wasn't something that I was going to use on my card anyway. So it didn't matter to me whether the top of it got cut on here or not. So that's why it looks a little crazy. Okay, so let's get going on this. The first things first is I'm just going to glue these two pieces together. And the only two butterflies, as you can see in my card, that I'm really interested in are the big one in the middle and the one that's just down here on the lower left. So I'm only going to adhere those two together. The rest of it I'm going to chop off anyway, so it doesn't matter what those look like and whether they get glued together or not. So I'm using a little multi-purpose liquid glue. And whoop, there we go. For some reason, sometimes it comes out in globs, sometimes it comes out in tiny spots. There's like a little air bubble in mine right now. Let me grab some junk to wipe this on. Hopefully I don't end up with too many big globs of it. All right, so just going to put a few dabs here and there, spots where I want to make sure that it's stuck together. While I'm doing that, everybody knows that there are new celebration items coming out on Friday. At least hopefully you do. If you haven't seen them yet, head over to my blog and you'll see, scroll through some of the previous posts and you'll see some pictures out there with the new items that are coming up on Friday. There's a new stamp set called All Adorned. There is a new embossing folder, which is beautiful. It's the Country Floral embossing folder. And there is a new bundle that's got a stamp set and a pack of designer series paper, and it's called Painted Seasons, and it's absolutely stunning. So I would recommend that you put in orders starting on Friday and get all three of those because they're awesome. But again, they'll be available on Friday as celebration options. So if you're interested in that, go take a peek at my blog and you can see the details. All right, I think we've got everything pretty well glued together, and I didn't glue my fingers together, which is awesome. So, we have trouble with the liquid glue all the time. Mine doesn't always do it. It's just sometimes it gets like a little air bubble in it and it wants to do a bunch of glue all at once, and so you kind of just have to get the air bubble to pop out, and then it's fine again. So, in order to use to get the pieces of the butterfly that I wanted, I had to pull out my paper snips and just sort of. This is pretty easy to trim along the top here. We're just going to trim it straight. Same thing on this one, just trying to be careful not to trim it too much in any one spot. Trim off a little excess there. If you have trouble with the little antennas, which I did on mine on my previous card, had one antenna that kind of got bent Sorry about that. I don't know whether you, anyway, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, but apparently the call comes through anyway. So we are here working on our butterfly. I'm going to trim off, and I'm going to try to make it, this one part in here kind of dip in a little bit to make it look similar to the other side. Trim off the other butterfly. It looks like I need to do a little extra trimming in here. All right, and then I'm going to snip these two apart, and this one's the one where I kind of hold my breath a little bit because I want to try to make it look not too crazy when I get done trimming it. And I think I fairly successfully trimmed it without making it look too wild and ended up with anything chopped off that I didn't want to. As many of you know, fussy cutting is not my specialty, so I do not enjoy doing that, but this fussy cutting is really simple, so even people like me can do this. So, all right, so let's get back to the card now that we've got our butterflies done. This is the Botanical Butterfly Designer Series paper, which again is a free item that's available right now with an order of $50 or greater. As a celebration item, so we're going to take a piece of that. This is all the measurements and everything will be on my blog tomorrow, as well as links to purchase any of the items that I'm showing you here today. So again, no need to worry about writing down the measurements, but this is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8, and I'm gluing it to a panel of Highland Heather cardstock that is cut to 3 3/4 by 5 inches, just using a little snail to do that. All right. And again, one other thing that is coming up here on March 1st, we've got the celebration coordination starting, and that is a new set of dies and stamp set and a punch that coordinate with the current celebration items, which again, double bonus. So those items are only available for sale. They are, and actually I can just show you the flyer quick while I'm chattering away here. These are only items that are available for sale, so these are not going to be able to be earned for free, but they will be available for anyone to order starting on March 1st. This is the stamp set up here called More Than Words, and then there's the punch that coordinates with it, as well as the die sets that coordinate with the current and the upcoming celebration stamp sets. So that is definitely a nice little bonus that they've got this year, which I love, because again, I'm not a fussy cutter, and I love anything that I can do with dies, I'm good with. So Karen says that I'm brave in cutting the butterfly up. She'd hack up the whole thing. Well, you know, I was a little nervous about it, but I figured this is pretty easy fussy cutting. It's just kind of straight. If I had to do anything real intricate, I'd probably just skip it too and wouldn't do it, because I'm kind of a lazy stamper when it comes to things like that. So, all right. So right now I am just adding a couple little glue dots to the back of the butterfly, and I'm only going to stick down the glue dots. Whoops, that one got a little crazy in the placement, but I'm only going to add glue dots on this side of the butterfly because again, on my card you can see that I've got part of it tucked down here underneath the sentiment, and the other part is kind of stuck up over the top of the sentiment. So I'm only going to glue down half of the butterfly, and I did leave his one wing sort of hanging off the card front just a little bit. I don't want to go too wild and have it hanging completely off the card, but all right, so there we go. Next thing that I did was I went ahead and cut a panel of gorgeous grape cardstock with one of the stitched rectangles framelits dies, and it was this one in particular. So I went ahead and die cut that ahead of time, and then stamped over it. I had stuff everywhere. Stamped over it with the little dot die from the Beauty Abounds stamp set, and I used Highland Heather ink, and again, you can probably barely see it, if at all, on the camera, and I sort of wanted that effect. I didn't want it to be real dark. I thought about doing it in Gorgeous Grape, but I was afraid that would get too dark, so I did it in Highland Heather, so it's just sort of a little shadow effect on it is what you can see. So I'm just going to stamp the little dot a few times here, randomly over. I don't know, I must have it inkier. Maybe I re-inked, I don't know. Or maybe it just dries a little lighter, because I feel like it wasn't quite as inky when I did it the first time. So, all right, next thing we're going to do is stamp the sentiment on here and use a little bit of Gorgeous Grape ink. And again, the stamp set is from the Butterfly Gala stamp set bundle, which unfortunately the punch is unavailable for right now, but the stamp set is still available for purchase. When I stamped this, I went a little bit to the right because I'm going to adhere the little butterfly over on the other side. So that was why I added it a little bit closer over to the right. And then used a couple of Stampin' dimensionals to adhere it together. And I know I've mentioned it before, but when I do use Stampin' dimensionals, generally I trim kind of right down the center of them, so then you get 2 dimensionals for every one that's actually in the pack. So, which is a nice little bonus. Karen called, I can't remember what she called me. It wasn't frugal, but said I was cheap. She told me there was another word for it, but I don't know. All right, so I'm going to adhere the little sentiment on here, and it's just kind of have to tuck it up and under the butterfly. Is it his leg? Whatever the bottom of the butterfly is. Bottom of his wing, I guess it's not his leg. So tuck the sentiment up underneath like that. And then I'm going to adhere the other little butterfly that we snipped off here. And I'm going to add a glue dot on one side. And actually, the little mini Stampin' dimensionals, I found the edge was just the perfect size if I sliced it up just a little bit. Oh, conservative, that's it. I wasn't cheap, I was conservative with mine. So when I cut up the edges of the mini Stampin' dimensionals, it was the perfect size for this little butterfly so that the dimensionals weren't peeking out and sticking and looking all crazy on the card. Then I just took a glue dot and stuck it underneath the other part of the wing. With glue dots, I don't know if you know this, but if you end up with one where it's hanging, this one isn't actually hanging over the edge, but if you do end up with one that is, you can just simply roll them up and stick them to themselves, and then they work great. So they still work rolled up, So, all right, so we got little mini Stampin' dimensionals on here as well as the glue dot to hold the butterfly in place, and hopefully I can get it on here without making a mess. Looks like it went down okay. The next thing that I added were a couple of the glitter enamel dots, and I used, good heavens, I've still got my ink pad open over here. I'll definitely stick my elbow in that before the day is done. So I used a couple of the Gorgeous Grape glitter enamel dots and just sort of randomly stuck them around here on the card front. All right, and that's basically it for the card front. Just adhered it on with a couple of Stampin' dimensionals, which I don't have the next row cut, so I'll use the whole ones. I won't be cheap this time. All right. One other thing, as I'm using up a pile of Stampin' dimensionals, I wanted to mention is that I am doing a little ordering bonus this week. Because it's Valentine's Day week, I do my annual Stuck on You ordering bonus, which you get a free adhesive with every order of $50 or greater that you place through my online store between now and the 18th of February. So a nice little bonus if you're wanting to put in an order. And it's also going to carry over so that if you wanted to get the new celebration items and put in orders for those, you'll also be covered with my ordering bonus for the first couple days. So, and that is in addition to the $10 gift that you normally get when you order from me. So that's a nice little bonus too, that if you're interested in ordering or have any questions about it, let me know. All right, so on the inside of the card, I just did a little bit of stamping with the dot image from the Beauty Abounds stamp set, and I also added the butterflies in Gorgeous Grape ink. So these are in Highland Heather, and this is Gorgeous Grape, just on Whisper White cardstock, so kept it pretty simple on the inside too. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I don't know, the weather's been a little weird around here, and like I said, the kids are all sick at school, and now I feel like, I don't know if I'm officially sick, but I know I'm definitely fighting whatever this yucky stuff she brought home is. So I'm hoping that I can fight it off and not get the worst of it. But anyway, we'll see. We'll survive if I get it. All right, and a couple little butterfly images here in Gorgeous Grape ink from the Beauty Abounds stamp set. Oh, it's snowy and icy up where you are, Karen. Yucky. All right, well, glad I'm down south for right now. Using a little snail. And we're just going to adhere that on the inside of the card base. And one thing you may have noticed is the card that I actually showed earlier had a little slightly different card base than this one does. This one I cut at 5.5 by 8.5 and scored it at 4.25, so it opens like a book. And then this one I'd cut at 4.25 by 11, so it opens like a, I don't know, is that a notepad, whatever it is. So just, it's the same exact card measurements, just a little different on the card base. So that is all. So that's my card share for today. Hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know. Oh, they're closing schools up there. It must be pretty bad. So, all right. Let me know if you have any questions or if I can help you with anything. Again, all the details and links to purchase the products that I used today are going to be on my blog tomorrow. Let me know if you have questions. I'm happy to help with anything. Thanks so much for joining me today. I appreciate it and hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day.